What happens if we get our hearts broken at that time? If someone dumped us, someone broke our hearts, very, very hard to recover, correct? And I found out from a lot of folks that men have an incredibly difficult time recovering. Any idea why? Nobody to talk to.
Nobody to talk to?
How many times have you heard stories about Frank going into the spa, sitting down with his friend Joe? He said, Joe, I'm feeling really vulnerable. My heart's broken. And not going to happen, right? Not going to happen. Frank doesn't have anybody to talk to. What I found out was men may never fully recover from that broken heart. May never fully recover. And from that day on, women have a better chance talking to their friends, talking it out, going to whatever it is that they did, reading all the self-help books, going to therapy. They have a better chance of learning better tools to enter into a better relationship more as an adult. Men, tough time. Don't hate men. Okay? They're having a tough time out there, and we're going to talk more about that. So, you've got a situation where people have broken hearts. Many of you tried again and maybe got your broken hearts back. Maybe it came right back, you got your hearts broken. And many people, after that happened, had to find a way to be social and to continue looking for relationships. But what many people did is that they put their heart away. They kind of protected it. And instead of continuing to look for love, they looked for something else. Instead of proceeding with their hearts, many people switched to trying to figure out the best kind of relationship. Instead of coming from their feelings and risking their feelings, they started thinking about relationships and how they thought relationships should be for them in the future. So now that we have the title coming up, Body Traders. What does body traders mean?
Swapping spit on a larger scale.
Well, it's horse trading is what it is. Very typically. And again, the roles have changed quite a bit. Women have never been more masculine in their ways, and men have never been more feminine. I don't mean gay, I don't mean effeminate. I mean masculine being assertive and aggressive, feminine being receptive. There's no put down on anybody at any time. You ladies know one is no weaker than another unless you presume you're weaker than another. And why women's why they wanted to fight for equality is beyond me. They had all the power and they still do. Why they want equality? I'm still trying to find out about that.
They want to pay the bills.
Well, okay. Okay. Now, no problem about work. In here, we don't talk about jobs so much. Here it's about relationships. So I can certainly understand equality in the workplace. Wonderful. But another disadvantage that the ladies have, who have taken on that more masculine role at work, which is very necessary and very needed. I spent a lot of years out in Los Angeles, and it took me a long time to realize that to make it in that business takes a great deal of assertion, takes a great deal of masculine energy, being aggressive and assertive. And for women to make it in that business, they had to be very assertive and masculine. What's happened out there, and I see it happening everywhere, is as they become more aggressive in nature, more masculine in nature, when it comes time to relationships, it starts a great deal of confusion because they don't know how to be, they don't know what to do to get them the relationships they want, having taken on this masculine role. I spend weekends talking about just this subject, how confused men have gotten with women that has become that much more masculine in nature, how confusing it is for them. They don't know exactly whether they should approach a woman, whether they should sit back, which is the feminine energy thing, receptive energy thing, sit back and wait for the ladies to come to them. It's very, very confusing right now. What's happening is people are facing such unhappiness in relationships. I truly believe that how the world goes is very indicative of how each and every one of us feels about ourselves and about our relationships. I believe that each and every one of us affects the world. How we feel, the world goes. Everybody knows the song by the Beach Boys. I think it was in the 60s. I'm pretty sure in the 60s. Good Vibrations. What a nice song that was, right? Good Vibrations. You put good vibrations out into the world, there's a very good chance you're going to get some good vibrations back. There he is. Hey, same thing with relationships. You put out good vibrations through the law of attraction. How many people have ever heard of the law of attraction? 1, 2. Oh, cool. Very, very good. What you put out, what you think, what you feel, you will get back more of that. If we're negative, if we don't trust, and we'll see if I even get to one sentence of this handout that I put together for all of us to do tonight. But if you're distrusting, if you're angry, if you're bitter, if you're mad, you put that energy out there, you don't even have to say anything. The energy is kind of oozing from you. You're going to attract that negative energy. No one's going to come into your life as a savior and save you from your misery, from your anger, from your bitterness. Guess who has to turn that around first? I want to see a whole room full of hands. Please, thank you. No one is going to deliver you from your misery. No knight in shining armor is going to come in and save you. You need to recognize that you are a much more powerful person than you give yourself credit for. And you can learn about being positive, about love, about better relationships. And once you feel better about yourself, you will feel more attractive. And once you feel more attractive, you will attract people who feel better about themselves and not want to take advantage of you or use you. And let's go back to body traders. What are body traders? Stereotypically. Again, don't get mad at me. But men, stereotypically, who have worked their whole lives to make as much money as they can. Because they were told and they were taught, you make the money and you'll be able to get whoever you want when you get older. Is that true?
No.
No. Okay. Women, what was the message that women were taught? They were taught that if you make yourself as attractive as possible, that you'll be able to attract the man of your dreams. Stereotypically now, okay? Body traders is when the man intellectually approaches relationships and he says, I am going to offer what I have. And if I find the person who looks good enough for me or sexy enough for me, I will want to get into a relationship to get what she has, and I'll give her what I have. That is an intellectual approach to relationships. Nothing there is no one's saying anything about love. It's an intellectual approach to relationship. If I find someone who has what I want, I'll give them what I have in exchange for what I want. It's so prevalent, it's so common, half of this room is getting mad at me for even thinking there's something wrong with that. And I have weekend relationships that I talk about just this bit of information. That body trading relationships really cannot work. But I don't